Welcome to this explainer. The world outside our bodies is, well, it's a completely chaotic, ever-changing place, right? I mean, one minute it's freezing, the next it's boiling. Yet internally, we're basically a masterclass in dynamic equilibrium. Today, we're jumping straight into the ultimate balancing act. How our bodies manage to navigate all these external extremes without just, completely spiraling out of control.
Seriously, just imagine stepping out into the bitter, biting cold of a deep winter, and then fast forward to walking through the absolute suffocating heat of a summer afternoon. How does your body actually survive these extreme, intense external threats to your internal stability? Because think about it, if your internal environment just mirrored those outside extremes, you definitely wouldn't survive for very long. Instead, your body actively fights back.
And the invisible hero keeping you alive through all of that is homeostasis. It's this nonstop process working quietly behind the scenes. You can kind of think of it as your body's ultimate internal anchor. So while the world outside is this wild, turbulent sea, homeostasis is the thing keeping your physiological ship perfectly, flawlessly steady. Okay, let's really dive into this definition. At its core, homeostasis is the process by which living organisms maintain a stable internal environment despite changes in the external environment. It is literally all about stability amidst chaos. Whether your environment is rapidly heating up or totally freezing over, this process is entirely dedicated to keeping your internal metrics perfectly consistent. Now, what's really interesting about this is the sheer scope of what the body actually has to keep stable. We're talking about incredibly strict microscopic ranges for your temperature, your water balance, and your blood sugar levels. Your system is constantly juggling all these critical conditions at the exact same time, basically making sure none of them ever drop too low or spike too high. It's a massive multitasking effort. Let's move along and see how this builds when things get intense. What does this internal anchoring actually look like when our bodies are pushed to the absolute brink? Well, when the environment forces our conditions outside of that normal, safe baseline, the body triggers a highly coordinated emergency response. It's like flipping a biological alarm switch. And this brilliantly illustrates what we experience all the time. Sweating when we get way too hot versus shivering when we get way too cold. These are completely, totally opposite temperature responses, but they share the exact same goal, which is balance. Your body actively pushes water to the skin to cool you off, or it rapidly contracts your muscles to generate that vital heat. But this balancing act goes so much further than just what you can physically feel. It also includes these continuous, completely invisible chemical feedback loops. Take blood sugar, for example. You eat a big meal, and that immediately shifts your internal state. Almost instantly, your body deploys hormones to manage and regulate that sudden influx of glucose, keeping it safely within that strict baseline. And it does all this without you ever having to lift a finger. So, we've talked about the sweating, the shivering, the chemical regulation, but why? Why does the body expend such immense, massive amounts of energy just to ensure you aren't a single degree too hot or a tiny fraction off in your water balance? Well, it's because these aren't just quirky biological features. They are the absolute fundamental baseline for your survival. It's basically a direct, step-by-step chain reaction. By maintaining a perfectly stable internal environment, your incredibly delicate microscopic cells and your major organs get the exact conditions they need to function properly. And, as you can probably guess, when your cells and organs are operating at their absolute peak, that translates directly into your overall holistic health and survival. So, the crucial point is, it really all boils down to this perfectly simple quote from our source material: homeostasis is the maintenance of a constant internal environment in the body. Amidst all the complex hormones and physical reactions we've talked about, the core mission is always maintenance and consistency, keeping the inside constant no matter what crazy things are happening on the outside. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final thought to ponder. What invisible, non-stop work is your body doing right this very second to keep you stable? Even as you just sit here listening to me, your body is making countless microscopic adjustments. So the next time you step out into extreme heat or bitter cold, take a quick moment to appreciate the incredibly complex, invisible machinery